Well, hello. Good morning, everyone. Come on in. Let's get into this week's edition of Cuppa Courage Tips. So I'm Leanne Boyd, and yes, let's get going on this week's topic, which is the links between your thoughts and feelings and how they actually affect your body. Okay, so thoughts and emotions have a profound effect on one another. Thoughts and triggers emotions, worrying about an upcoming job or an interview, we all tend to feel a little bit fearful, don't we? And also, they serve it as an appraisal of that emotion. They'll heighten it the more we think about it. And really, when you get down to it, it's not a realistic fear because we're going to do it anyway, so we just need to get into it. Okay, so if we feel distressed, it's often that because we are thinking negative thoughts. We might be too future focused, which is really the basis for anxiety, is being too future focused and not being in the present. This contributes to us feeling distressed. So if we want to improve how we feel, we need to begin by becoming more aware of what we are thinking and changing our thought. Okay, so how do our thoughts and feelings affect our body? You need to come out of your head when you feel these negative thoughts and into your body and recognize and learn how to change those negative feelings that are running around in your head. Did you know that feelings are a physical thing? They really are. How we feel is really connected to our body. That's why when we feel anxious and nervous about something, we might, get butterflies in our stomach, or we'll have nervous wheeze and we've got to go to the toilet. It affects us. We feel a tightening in our chest sometimes. Or when we're really emotional, we feel it in our solar plexus here. So we often think that our mindset is something that only affects our brain. Your thoughts become feelings, and this creates a looping of thoughts and feelings that gets deeply ingrained the more you do it. Okay? So I want you to just think about this, and I'll do a little demonstration so you can just close your eyes and listen to me. So I want you to think about a memory that also causes you to have negative feelings, okay? While you're feeling that, oh, sorry, my jaw's just gone really tight. I am a bit stressed. Your jaw goes tight when you're a bit stressed, but anyway, let's move on. While you're feeling that, based on reliving a memory, that memory that you're now thinking of, notice that you might feel it in a specific area of your torso. When I stop and think, yeah, I feel it right here. You will notice there's an actual location of it, okay? When you feel it at a specific level of intensity, okay? When you stop and think about it and close your eyes, it might even have a size and a shape about it. So many people have never really taken the time to slow down and really feel what happens in their body, okay, when they have an emotion. Because while the emotion's happening, you're kind of too in it, aren't you? So you don't stop and actually feel what you're feeling in your body. It's kind of a little bit like, for an example, childbirth, that when you're in that really intensity of pain, like 15 out of 10, you don't see the miracle that's about to happen. You don't even think about it. You're just thinking of the pain. Okay, so it's important to know that feelings impact your cells and have the power to cause actual muscles in your body to tense up. And then they release hormones, chemicals, which flood all the 11 body systems, okay? And pushes adrenaline out to the extremities of your body, right out to the surface of your skin, and you can feel it when you get really stressed and anxious, that adrenaline surging through your body. It's interesting that over time, we think our bodies, we just think of them as, okay, we're just living flesh, okay? When we're not really. We actually have the ability to synchronize our feelings. The body synchronizes our feelings with the invisible workings of our body and mind, okay? So not unlike the flourishing of our planet. Our planet's flourished by the invisible force of the sun's rays, or the oxygen that's around. You know, if it wasn't here, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be able to breathe or live, but we can't see it. It's invisible. And that's what our feelings, our thoughts can be doing to our body. Our gut, which causes physical sensations, and our heart, where our feeling is, and our mind, which is our brain's perception, are all affected when we are struggling emotionally and mentally. This is another reason to get your shit sorted, okay? It's really unhealthy to keep these emotions in your body all the time, okay? The negative emotions that swirl around in your body and wreak havoc on all of your body and organs and sit in your body. You know, the issues are in the tissues. It's a true fact, okay? Let's call the feelings that stem from our emotions a charge that's felt in your body. It is. It's like an electric charge sometimes. And it takes days to recover when you have a really emotional episode. So when first applying the meaning to an event, to a trigger event, something, say you're in an event and it's triggering you, okay, and it's getting you all wound up. So when you first apply meaning to that, your brain scans the activity at the front part of the brain, which is the frontal lobe, and it's where we make all our decisions, in that frontal area here. So at warp speed, once we've interpreted the event that's stirring us up and we have applied our own meaning to it, we think, okay, this is of extreme concern. This is really bugging me. This triggers that feeling to start in the body at the same time as the lights in the front of your brain light up. And then they go to the back of the brain. It turns on the lights in the back of the brain. And that area is called the amygdala, okay? So the lights then, they dim at the front and it lights up at the back when we're really stressed about something and we've got this negative emotion. And it's sort of dimmed at the front according to the intensity that we feel that negative emotion. So it's dumbing our decisions down. Okay, so remember, this is our decision-making area. So when we get really stressed, this part here lights up at the back of our brain and dumbs down our decision-making. So if the charge is very intense, the lights go out altogether at the front. And then it brightens up at the back of our brain, causing a stress response as the feeling becomes entirely physical in the body, okay? Have you heard of the amygdala hijack? The amygdala hijack is when we make very irrational decisions because this part of our brain at the back is really lit up and this part is dumbed down, and it's when, you go, oh, that person's just cracked, because they're right in their amygdala, they're thinking with that part of their brain, and they're making very irrational, regrettable decisions. Okay. If it's an inherited thing, which we do inherit our emotions epigenetically, it may completely bypass that intelligent frontal part of your lobe and just go straight to the back, lighting up the back of the brain straight away, not even going here. Because we do, we not only inherit our physical traits, but we also inherit our emotional traits. So when it's inherited, it goes straight to there if it's negative, okay? So this is meant to keep us safe, really, by putting us into a stress response. But that when at times, when we're under a real threat, say, there's a natural disaster happening, or, something's going to really threaten our life, you know, it's a good thing to have that stress response. But when it's something that we've perceived as being dangerous and it's not really, it's just the way we've thought about it and we've applied that meaning to it, then it becomes a stress response in the body that's really harmful and unhealthy to us. So emotional decisions that get made during this the stress response, when it's under a real threat, it allows us to act accordingly and react in those situations and events in a constructive way. When we've just applied meaning to something, it becomes more destructive than constructive. And we end up lashing out or saying things or doing things that we really don't want to do at the time. And then we think about it and you think later, why did I do that? Why did I react that way? That was really bad. Okay, so now you know the process that goes on in your brain when you're faced with these situations. So remember that the point where you apply meaning is the point where your personal power lies. You can either lash out or you can just sit back and think about it for 2 seconds and think about how you can respond better and what the situation actually is. So I'm going to teach you now a little tool that shows you how you can turn off that emotion in that moment. So your lights come back on in the front of your brain, in your mind, okay? And you're not going to react in that really knee-jerk way, okay? So this tool will teach your brain how you can make more intelligent decisions in the moment, okay? So are you ready? So I want you to know that you are separate to your thoughts and feelings. Therefore, you are in control of them, okay? So this little technique that I'm going to teach you, is called balloon popping. So, right, I want you to just sit back, relax, and now close your eyes, listen to my words, and then we're going to go and get rid of some emotions, okay, that are thinking that have been really dragging you down. And you know, you can do this over and over again when you are faced in difficult situations. So, okay, so I want you to now close your eyes, think about a memory that causes you to feel hurt, guilt, sadness, anger, any of those negative feelings that pop up when you think of that situation. You know, the list can go on, etc., etc., etc. But just think of one moment and that one emotion that goes with that moment. Okay? Then I want you to simply imagine that emotion is the air contained inside a balloon that is inside of you. Okay? So whenever you're in that body, you feel that emotion. Imagine that emotion is now the air inside that balloon that's right inside of you. So that air is now the emotion that you've been feeling. Okay. Now you know what happens to a balloon, what it looks like when it's full, and also when it pops. When it pops, it just becomes a little bit of shriveled up rubber, right? So now I want you to imagine you've got that air inside your balloon. That air is your emotion. Now I want you to imagine that you're holding a big, sharp needle and pop that emotion-filled balloon, and then ask yourself, now, where has that emotion gone? Just like that, it's gone. And you can teach this tool also to anybody. It's specifically great for children too that are going through tough times, facing exams, peer pressure, anything like that. You can teach that little trick to them and get them to imagine, put that emotion in a balloon inside of themselves, and then grab a big long needle and pop it. Okay? That's when it just disappears and a state of calm returns. So now I'm going to leave you right there. Practice that this week or use it throughout your life from now on. I hope it helps. So until next week, stay happy and healthy and calm, and I'll look forward to seeing you here next week for another edition of Cuppa Courage Tips. Yeah, have a great weekend. It's tomorrow, and I'll see you then. Bye.